Thank you, Madam President and colleagues. As someone who's known Mark for the last few years in Orange County, I can tell you my life is richer for having known him. He was incredibly popular among all the do-gooders in Orange County. He was an inspiration to my staff, an inspiration to me, and I will carry his legacy forward as best as I am able. Thank you for giving us this gift for as long as we had him. We will all miss him deeply.
Thank you, Senator Umberg. Senator Atkins.
President, thank you so much. To the senators from Orange County, and particularly his supervisor, let me say what an incredible tribute you did today for Mark and his family. And I feel, as the leader of this House, respectfully to my colleagues who allowed me this privilege, I felt it was important for me to speak, especially because his dear family is here today, and that we have this opportunity to celebrate an incredible life. I actually did have the opportunity to meet Mark, whether in this building or out of this building, as the good senator told us of his life, and I'm so glad we got to hear the extended remarks about who Mark was and his work, because it really did encapsulate the photo, along with Senator Newman's remarks, captured this individual. I want to say how privileged it is when you get to serve with a person who is dedicated to public service, and you see it and you feel it. He was working until the last minutes that evening, and I know that because we were working on issues and budget and all the things that we work on. And late at night, I got a call from my chief of staff, who had been on the phone with Mark not that much longer, when he said to me, and he was profoundly shaken. My chief of staff was profoundly shaken, because when he learned of Mark's passing, you stop. You know, sometimes the world has to stop for a moment in the midst of all of this work that we do, this important work that we do, because an incredible light, an incredible public servant, someone that had a life ahead of him to do so much more, was lost. And it really, as I think about how much I appreciate my chief of staff and the fact that he knows the staff that work in this building, and he knows of their potential and their promise and their brilliance, he had to stop that night. And he let me know what was on his heart and his mind. And I think we're all feeling that today. And I think it's so important for Mark's family to know that Mark had more than one family. His incredible family that's here today, all of the individuals that Senator Newman mentioned, his wife, his parents, his siblings, his children, all of these incredible people. But you have a family here today that wants to make sure, in the midst of, as we bring to conclusion the work that we do for the citizens of California, for the residents of California, that Mark was an integral part of that. And we feel that today, and we want you to know that. And so thank you for being with us today. Thank you to his family for allowing his Senate family to be part of the celebration of his incredible life. Madam President, thank you.
Senator Allen.
Mark was also part of another family that has been alluded to by Senator Newman. And that's a family in Washington, D.C., in the Latin American policy community. Mark and I shared something very special. We both worked with the National Democratic Institute for International Affairs, which is an institution that helps to strengthen democracy around the world, and both of us worked on Latin American programs. We would run into the halls here in the Capitol, talk very frequently about our experiences, and I gotta say, my conversations with Mark were the most substantive and fun and fruitful of I think all the conversations I've had in our Capitol halls. We would share stories, and we had so many mutual friends. So I just want to mention, on behalf of a whole world of people who love Mark in Washington, D.C., and also all the folks he worked with in Latin America, he spent time with the governance team at NDI in 2010, 2011. He did a whole project involving Central American legislators and bringing them up here to the United States. He worked on the Cuba program at the Washington Office on Latin America. So I've been in touch with a number of very close friends in Washington who were absolutely shocked and saddened by this untimely loss. And so on behalf of the NDI community and the DC community that he and I shared, I also want to express how unspeakable a tragedy this is and what a loss this is for so many people all over the world.
Thank you, Senator Allen. Senator Min.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to just thank my colleague from Fullerton for his eloquent words on Marc. Marc, I'm learning today, was part of a number of families, but he was certainly part of the Orange County political family. And it was in that context over the last 5 years I got to know him. And he is someone who was just relentlessly positive, full of life. He stood out because of that smile, that inability to be disliked or inability to carry negativity. And I think that's what I'm going to carry away from him. I know that all of us in Orange County were just devastated by this news. And I know there's a ceremony coming up in Orange County that will be incredibly crowded. He was beloved by all who knew him in Orange County, and he is a cherished part of our Orange County family, and we will miss him.
Thank you, Senator Min. Senator Laird.
Thank you very much, Madam President. We have heard very eloquently about the different families that Marc was involved with, and one of them is for a number of years, he was a congressional assistant in Washington, D.C. for my Central Coast Congressman Sam Farr. And the last time I talked to Marc, he was very excited because Sam was having his 80th birthday party in Big Sur on July 4th, and he went. And he had an amazing time, and I heard from many people that were at that party about their conversations, how good they were, how great it was to see him, and how shocked they were. And in particular, former Congressman Farr wanted me to pass along his sincere condolences and his grief at the loss, because they had such a close relationship that endured for so long that he participated in that and was considered part of their family. So I wanted to make sure those sentiments were expressed during this ceremony.
Thank you, Senator Laird. Senator Dodd.
Yes, I hadn't intended to speak today, but after seeing this beautiful picture of Marc and hearing the eloquent comments from our colleague, Senator Newman, I just wanted to recant a story of my one encounter with Marc Hanson. And you know, through the halls with COVID, we're all masked. We tend to just walk by people. We don't notice people. It's just, I was going down the hallway and I was going to be that guy. And he goes, Senator Dodd. I said, yes. He goes, I'm Marc Hanson. And I think he fist bumped me. He didn't shake my hand, of course, but it blew my mind. And about 3 minutes later, we were done. It was just a fantastic conversation. He thanked me for something that I had done. And I just said, wow. I went back in and told my staff person that was in my office about this encounter of this wonderful guy. And then less than 5 days later, we heard the news. So to his family, you just have an amazing son, father, husband. He will be missed.
Thank you, Senator Dodd. Senator Kamlager.
Just wanted to thank the good senator from Fullerton for his eloquent statements as well. You know, this has actually hit my office quite deeply. As a former staff person, you develop really close relationships with staff members from other offices. And, you know, Senator Newman and I have offices right next to each other. And there's some quiet competition because he snatched one of my legislative staffers from my office, but gave her a promotion, so that's okay. And while I was a tad salty in the beginning, I enjoyed the fact that she had this great opportunity, mostly because she was under the tutelage of Marc. And hearing how warm and generous and kind-hearted he was as a chief, that made me feel really good that she was going to be supported by this kind of individual who would help her and would also bring such joy and integrity and love to that office. Our staffs talk a lot because we are so close in proximity in this capital. And it has been really tough for the staff in this building because the words that keep coming to me about him are how kind and generous he is, how warm-hearted he is, always walking with a smile, always leading with generosity, the nicest, warmest soul. And so there's always a reason why our universe, why our God takes folks when we think they should still be with us. And we may not always know what that reason is. I have to believe that this angel was needed someplace else. But I just want to share, as someone who cares deeply about the staff in all of our offices and understand the relationship that they have with one another, how incredibly difficult this loss has been, because he was an immensely generous soul, and he will be missed beyond measure.
Thank you, Senator Kamlager.